Welcome back, everybody, to One Good Scare. You've got me and Keegas back in the house again for another horror-related shenanigans show. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so if my dulcet tones start to fade, Keegs will jump in and I'm sure we'll keep things ticking along nicely.
Party too hard at the weekend, didn't we?
That's what it is. That's what it is. It was. I tell you what it was.
That Terrifier drinking game, I think.
It was that friggin' horrible shot I bought on the Saturday night. What was that? Was it tequila? It was horrible. It was horrible.
Usually I'm 50-50 throwing up with tequila, but that tequila was actually okay.
There was too much singing going on, I think.
Right.
And dancing with Michael Myers for some reason. Not sure what that was about. But listen, James, we've got a bit of a different show, a bit of a special show tonight.
We do.
We
are
a
blessed
first
tonight, I think, to be graced with the presence of a real UK horror community celebrity, I think, tonight.
Yeah. And also, to be fair, he's blessed because this is the first time we've ever had a standalone guest on the show.
On the actual show, on the main show, yes. Talk about the news with us.
Yeah. So, without further ado, very excited to welcome Hail Leviathan himself, one of the key players at For the Love of Horror in terms of the presentation on stage and the organisation behind it. So, very pleased to welcome Ben to the show. Ben, sir, how are you?
I'm good, guys. You all right?
Yeah,
Excellent.
Very good. Very good. Recovered from the weekend?
No. It's what, a week later. I'm still paying for it. I heard you mention the Terrifier drinking game and tequila, and my Friday was a write-off after that.
Yeah. We're going to touch on the full events of the weekend a little bit later on, but just for people who had a superb showing with two of the team from Terrifier, and it was their idea to do this drinking game, wasn't it? They just kind of
Yes, it was. They came late. Their second flight was delayed, and they came straight to the show, straight on stage, and pulled out their phone, and there was a Terrifier drinking game that they'd been.
Yeah, it was just mad. It was just madness. Oh, we've lost you, Ben.
Music.
We've lost you.
Sorry, I'm back.
You're back.
Am I back? Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. So it was one of these ones where every time something happens in the movie, you've got to take a few drinks.
Anytime anything happens,
a lot of
it was like
I mean, literally,
a woman
it was
screams. Anytime a man shows up unnecessarily, like
it was basically anytime you were watching the film, you should drink. Basically, was what it was.
Yes. So I think I did 2 full pints and 2 tequilas in a 75-minute movie.
Yeah, it was good going. It was good going.
Yeah.
Okay, so usual stuff tonight, ladies and gents. What we're going to do is crack on through some of the horror news. Before we do that, I just want to say hello to Fuzzy of the Dunlop. He says you're looking radioactive. I think he's probably talking about me. I'm getting makeup tips. I'm getting makeup tics from good old Donald Trump. So that's what I'm going for tonight. You can see I've got the foundation on.
It's your white balance, I think.
The white balance, yeah. And Fuzzy is just saying congratulations on 400 subs.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Fuzzy. Really do appreciate it. Okay, so Ben, what we'll do is crack on with horror-related news. We're going to start off with a bit of Terrifier shenanigans, I think, tonight. Mr. Keegan. I mean, you've seen Joker 2. Ben, you seen Joker 2?
Yes, I saw Joker 2.
I didn't think it was bad.
I did.
James, it's fair to say, hated it. What did you think of it?
I quite liked it, to be honest. I think maybe I went in with ground zero expectations, but it was nowhere near where I thought it would be. It was actually an entertaining movie. Was the music necessary? Probably not, but it added different dynamic, and it was very clear from very early on that all of the music was in his head.
Yeah, I agree. See, I didn't go in with great expectations, and I thought it was okay. It was okay. It didn't disappoint us horrendously. Whereas James cried all the way out of the cinema and shook his fist at the sky.
I wanted to like it so much, and just as it went on, I was like, I'm not really. And then it came out, and I go, it was okay. And as I thought about it more and more, I'm like, fucking damn it! Like, it's just not the movie I wanted. I think, which like they tried to go for a thing, which could have been good if the movie was good, but I don't think it was. So like, what can you do?
But this news is that a pretty silly, grotesque movie like Terrifier 3 has absolutely wiped the floor at the box office with one of the biggest budget kind of movies around. It's mental, this, isn't it?
When you think about it, like this is Terrifier was #1 in America on Joker's second week. Now, to think about the fact that Joker 1 made $1 billion,
Yeah.
this is pretty stunning, I think. You know, and just shows one. I think like word of mouth was so poor on Joker that just like anyone who hadn't seen it by the first week just didn't go because of it. And I think word of mouth on Terrifier was so good. You know, it's cool to see. It just shows that people want a movie of a clown killing people, not fucking singing in prison. Yeah.
I think Joker's failure catapulted Terrifier.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think people are like, oh, fuck that, what can I go and see? Oh, there's another clown movie and he kills people, yes.
Yeah, that's a fair point, I think, actually.
I love that theory, Ben, because I love the theory that, you know, predominantly these have probably been comic booky type people, and they've thought, oh, I'll go and see another clown film. And then they've sat and they've started watching Terrifier and thought, holy fuck, what the hell is this
Why
that
have I
I've
done?
sat on? Yeah.
Well, what's funny to me is, and you might disagree, I feel like the last half hour of Terrifier 2 feels like a Joker versus Wonder Woman story.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
why I like. We'll talk a bit more. We'll do our thoughts on the movie itself later on. But like, that aspect is my favorite thing in that franchise. I think so. I lean towards the second one. Look, just crazy. I will say, Ben, because you showed it 4 times at the convention, I cannot get that fucking Ice Nine Kills song out of my head now. Like,
It's
I'm walking around,
crazy, that video.
terrifying. You know, like it's just.
Do you know what? That is not my kind of music at all. In fact, it gets on my tits. But the theme tune of it, you know, The Art of Dying, I can't get that out of my head, and it just keeps looping.
Oh, this is so good, yeah. It's so good. I remember when they told me we were playing that during the convention, and I was like, you've seen the video, right? Yeah, it's fine. Just make an announcement about it. 18 and over only. I was like,
That felt like a legal requirement. Was at the start, like this is 18s only. So if you have kids here, scooch them.
Someone threw up on the Sunday during it.
Really?
I don't know if it was related to it.
That was behind you.
That was behind me. That was behind
I went
me.
and sat
yeah.
in their seat, and the guy next to me said, "Girl just threw up here." And I was like, "Okay, Grant, don't move, thanks."
You smell it everywhere.
I noticed the smell. Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh.
I don't know if it was directly proportionate to the video, but
I
that
think
was
she
the
drank.
time.
She drank too much. I think so. Like,
Playing the Terrifier drinking game during that video.
Yeah, well, yeah, it must have. Yeah.
I mean, that video. Is it on YouTube? Can people access it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're
It's got a
interested,
big content warning.
go check it out. It is rough. I have to say, you got, and like James says, we'll talk about it in a bit when we come to a Terrifier 3 review. Terrifier is full of pretty visceral, vile scenes. The one thing that's really disturbed me most is in that video, which is when he goes at a foof with the knife and he's hacking away.
I think he pops his hand in, doesn't he? I don't
No,
think-
it's
he
not
does.
knife. He takes his knife, does he not? And he's putting the
You
knife up.
definitely hear, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Emergency C-section.
Yeah, but not good, But yeah, good video. Okay, next bit of news. Sticking with Terrifier, Mr. Keegan again.
Ben, have you heard about this? Terrifier's getting an arcade game. Yeah, this sounds really
I saw
interesting.
the trailer.
Yeah, so there's just a little look. I think this is a great idea. Just a fun little silly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style beat 'em up thing where you can hack and slash. I suppose with like pixel art, you can go just really hardcore with the violence in it if you want to, you know, and not get like censored or anything like that. So, I like the fact that the little girl is the player 2 character in this. I think that's really fun. And I assume we'll get Victoria. I think is probably another player.
I saw a screenshot where you can go as Chris Jericho.
Oh really? Yeah.
All right.
I could see this being
Orderly.
one they add like for DLC. They might add like Jason or something like that. I could see like some horror crossover stuff with this, but just looks really fun. I'm gonna pick this up. I'm not really a huge fan of like 2D arcade beat 'em ups, but just the novelty of this, I think it's
it looks fun.
Chainsaws up asses and stuff like it'd be good.
Very reminiscent of the Scott Pilgrim game from about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, that is one I liked. Yeah.
That's a tremendous movie. Love that movie.
Will this be a new Helldivers, Pete? Two of us. We should play it on the channel. That'd be good. It's probably only like 2 hours or something like that. So
Oh yeah.
Stream.
You're playing the girl, aren't you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's 2024, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but I think I'm more suited to art. It looks interesting. Oh, do you know what? I can I just say, and I know I'm sure I lose half our target audience here. Okay. Ariana Grande gets right on my tits. Okay. And I don't know, it's the voice, because I remember I used to watch her, I used to be forced to watch her when she was in some god-awful show that my kids watched.
Oh, Victorious.
Yeah, and she had this horrible voice. And then I thought, you know what, give the woman her due. I'll give her a break. And she was on an episode of Hot Ones not so long ago.
Okay.
I could have taken a club to her. Honestly, she got right on me tits on that as well.
I generally like her until I heard this story, and I'm like, oh fuck. So Ben, are you familiar with this one?
No.
The drama here. So Elvira, Cassandra Peterson was at a horror convention last week, and she was asked by an audience member, what's like the worst celebrity interaction you've ever had? And she said she like, oh, it rhymes with, and then she said like a name that rhymes, Ariana Grande. But she said basically Ariana Grande asked her for like 20 free tickets to her show. So I assume she was doing like a live show at the time, and for her friends and family. So she invited them, took photos with all of them, like all 20 of her family and friends, signed autographs for all of them. At the end, she goes to Ariana Grande, can we have a photo together? And Ariana Grande goes, no, I don't really do that. And then she fucked off before the show starts. So I was just like, the disrespect of that is just shocking, I think. So it blew up like it's, I don't think she expected when she said this for it to be so big.
That really does play into the persona I think she's got. Do you know what I mean? Everything I've seen of her comes across as kind of pretentious so-and-so.
I suppose you don't, like, she's so famous that, like, that, you know, she doesn't take pictures with anybody. But if you're doing that for someone, you could just say to her, hey, can you just keep this yourself? Don't share it or anything.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just, I just think incredibly rude, like, considering how generous Cassandra Peterson was being here. Like,
Ben, have you ever had Elvira at For the Love of Horror?
No, I'm not sure why, to be fair, because she's definitely right up our alley, isn't she? I think there was talk of booking her one year, but it didn't happen. And there's invites go out to people every year from the bosses. Say invite, I mean, you know, guest requests. Nothing's ever come back with her, but I don't remember any conversations about it even being close either.
right. Because I remember the official page on the Facebook group, shared who'd like to see Cassandra Peterson next year. So I thought it was a hint of like, oh, she's coming. That'd be really cool.
Back in the day, they used to gauge reaction, you know, to see if it was worth pursuing people. Yeah. And I think it was one of those where everyone involved wanted her, and then we put a post out, and about 3 people commented on it, and it was like, oh.
That's such a shame. I think she'd be huge.
I think
it would make a really cool opening night screening. Do Mistress of the Dark and.
I don't think I've ever seen an Elvira film.
There's only 2 of them, you know, and then the macabre stuff, like the, you know. And
I've read the comic, obviously. I've read a lot of the comic.
The comic's fantastic. I love that. Like, that's one of my favorite comic series. I think she's just really fun. She's like a Deadpool kind of character. Like,
yeah, she's very cool as well.
Yeah.
She was just kind of age as well, isn't she? She's
17 or something, like, and she just looks.
She looks ace.
Yeah. That'll be a good one.
I'd love that. Imagine like a in costume photo op would be just so cool. Like,
I think that's what they were after, but I think at the time she wasn't doing cons as Elvira.
Yeah, I've seen she's I think this weekend she's hosting, like, it's Elvira Presents I think Washington Scream Fest or something like that.
That's
and
cool.
She has like a Elvira panel, like an Elvira screening with like similar, like an opening night screening kind of thing. And she's not as Elvira there, she's just herself. So I assume if she's not going to do it there, she probably just doesn't do it anymore. But
I bet she's good fun. Good fun. I imagine she'll be great on the stage. Yeah. Just going to jump to the chat, guys, because we've got Jay here. Jay, I think it might be your first time on the channel, so welcome. Nice to see you. I'm a huge horror fan. Took me 3 days to watch Terrifier in its entirety. Watching the insane brutality of it was exhausting. Yeah, it's a lot to take in, especially the shower scene.
Yeah, highlight the movie.
Great movie, though. I haven't seen 1 or 2. Check them out, Jay. Check them out, because I think Well, we're going to get to a review near the end of the show.
One might be a slog, I think, if you start on 3.
Hang on. Let's not
two
get
is
to
great.
it yet, because we're going to talk about it in a bit. Because I have views on that, James.
It's just interesting with the lore that 2 establishes. To jump into 3 without any context is pretty crazy. Like, because the movie just doesn't explain anything really at all. Like,
I haven't seen the ones before Terrifier 1 because he appears in a whole host of other things.
Or Hallows Eve, the Ninth Circle, all that type of stuff.
yeah, we did an I'll Be Right Back on Terrifier 1, and I watched some clips from them. I was surprised, like, the original appearance of Art, like in the Ninth Circle, it's a completely different look. Like, it's like a
Different guy.
different fabric
actor,
kind of
isn't it?
thing. Yeah, different actor. But even in Hallows Eve, it looks. It's the art
It's,
design, like in the
what's his
original
name?
ones.
Mike Gianelli, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next movie news. I'm excited about this because I loved the original movie of this. James, what's this one?
Yeah, Samara Weaving is returning for Ready or Not 2 with Radio Silence directing. So, Radio Silence, anyone doesn't know, they did Ready or Not. They did the recent Scream movies, Scream 5 and 6. Can't wait for this. I think it's going to be awesome.
They did a really cool movie a couple of years ago called Devil's Due. That's like a found footage Rosemary's Baby.
Right, I haven't seen that. Yeah. I'll check that out. Very interested where this is gonna, story-wise, where this is gonna go. Considering, so if people who don't know, Ready or Not is about this girl played by Samara Weaving who marries into this rich family. On her wedding day, they have like a family tradition where they play a game, and basically she like draws the short stick. And so their job is to hunt and kill her for the night. So it's just a survival movie. It's awesome. She's incredible in it. It's got a really cool style. It's very funny. So just story-wise, I'm very curious with how that movie ends, like where they go with this.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I love the original movie. Have you seen the original, Ben?
Ready or Not, yeah, big fan. I think it makes a perfect. It makes a perfect double bill with Knives Out.
Oh, I love Knives Out. Yeah. Wasn't so keen on Glass Onion, mind, but Knives Out.
I like Glass Onion. I've never rewatched it though, so that probably says a lot.
Yeah. There's a third one coming out, isn't there? I'm sure there's a third
Yes.
one.
Yeah, there's a picture of Daniel Craig.
It's called Wake Up Dead Man because they're all named after different songs.
Yeah.
Knives Out by Radiohead, Glass Onion by the Beatles, and Wake Up Dead Man is U2.
Never realised that.
I didn't know that. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Cracking out
See,
the facts.
dropping the knowledge bombs. See, that's why you're
About to
here,
get
Ben.
replaced
That's
here.
why you're here. In fact, yeah. Let's just. Piss off, Blade.
What is happening with this film? Why is it so difficult for Marvel to make a bloody vampire movie?
I can't get my head around this because, as far as I'm concerned, you forget. I'm not including the third one, but the blueprint is there. Blade 1 and 2 were masterpieces, so they haven't got to do anything new. Just give us more of that shit, and I'm happy. You know. And I just
some context for people who don't know. Blade has been taken. So Blade was scheduled for November 2025. So about a year from now, it's been taken off the schedule. So was it 6 years ago or something? Mahershala Ali was announced for this. They've gone through 3 directors. Like, they don't even have a script at this point still.
So many release dates as well.
It's just insane. Like, yeah, Wesley Snipes laughing his ass off. I'd imagine so. And like, I remember that line in Deadpool 3, where he says, "I'm the only Blade." Felt like, or are they saying that Blade movie's cancelled? And maybe that's what they were saying. You know.
What's really funny is he's already debuted in the MCU in the Eternals. His voice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's making a good point here. The characters are named from song titles also in Didn't know
That's
that.
cool. I didn't know that.
I mean, at this stage, surely to God they're going to recast. I would have thought, or just bring Wesley back. Do you know what I mean?
Marshall Ali's like in his 60s now. I think he's 61 or 62. So like,
yeah, he's not that much younger than Wesley.
It's at the point where he'd be the mentor character. You know, you're getting to that stage. So, you know, I just don't see. I don't know if this is ever gonna happen, man. Like but it's weird. Like, it should be so simple. Like, how many fucking vampire movies have come out in the time that this was announced? Like, you don't need to make it a big thing, big CGI fest. Just do a cool Blade saving someone in a warehouse being attacked by vampires. You know, like, just do a really small, simple movie.
Do
Blade meets the Raid. But the Raid.
Exactly. Yeah. Just small scale. You know, low budget, good action choreography. You know, get one of those kind of directors in there, horror director. Like,
my big worry is it's going to go to Disney Plus, like Werewolf by Night or the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
I do like the Marvel Spotlight.
That said, like Werewolf by Night, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Blade deserves a big theatrical release. I
does.
think the character.
He does. He does. You're right.
Do you think this movie's ever going to happen?
No.
I think we'll get Infinity War. No, sorry, not Infinity War. We'll get Secret Wars. We'll get people like Cage back as Ghost Rider and whatnot, and then we might get like a Midnight Sun movie with Wesley Snipes coming back in the mentorship role with some of the younger kind of new characters. Because you'll get the new version of Ghost Rider. We're getting Wiccan now, so you could create an interesting team there, I suppose.
But what do you think? Do you think like Marshall Ali's just rejecting script by script, and like who's being difficult here? Someone is.
I think
they've made 20 movies since this.
Yeah, they have. I don't really know what's going on. Like, there's no definitive story come out about it either, just other than the script of shit.
Yeah,
pretty much. So,
but to be fair, Blade is the one character and the one franchise that you don't want to fuck up.
Yeah, true. Like that film saved Marvel effectively. You know, so
I'd rather have no Blade than bad Blade.
But if
the only other thing, and I mean this is just me hoping, so I've got no basis on this, is that that Marvel are recognizing that the last movies shows haven't done as well as people might hope for, so they need some kind of reset. They were at some point, I think, going full in on a Young Avengers kind of team, but that didn't seem to click, so people weren't jumping on that. I do wonder if they're going to use Secret Wars as a launch pad of the new kind of Midnight Suns universe instead. So the next phase of MCU might be Monsterverse or that kind of stuff. So they're delaying releasing this until after that point, and then they can go in big with all this kind of stuff, maybe.
At least like
I'd be happy with that.
Or Werewolf by Night so disconnected from the other stuff. You could say that's in the new thing. If you want to.
And Fuzzy's right here. You're dreaming, man. Disney just isn't interested, I feel. I think they're probably more interested now, Fuzzy. I think probably the thought of Blade would have to be, R-rated to get bums on seats, because it has to be. And they probably were resistant to that until Deadpool came along and showed them that you can still make a shit ton of money with swearing and violence, which they kind of resisted in MCU movies,
Plus, everyone forgets, now Daredevil is canon to the MCU. Mahershala Ali is in those Netflix series.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was in Luke Cage, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But then there's an actress, Alfre Woodard.
Yes.
She's in Civil War
Yes.
and Luke Cage as well. So I don't know.
He is, yeah.
It's sort of that thing of like it was so long ago, no one remembers. So who cares? So.
Just slight deviation. Fuzzy messaged us the other day. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but apparently the actress who played what you call her, man, Alias in the Netflix shows.
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, apparently she's in 6 of 9 episodes of Daredevil. So she's
Bloody hell.
relatively significant.
She's ace as well. I like her.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I hope Punisher's in that a lot as well.
Yeah, Fuzzy's seen 6 years is a piss take. Absolutely,
Madness.
You're right, Fuzzy. You're right. Okay, disappointing. Ooh, Aliens Romulus sequel. Did you say Aliens Romulus, Ben?
Yes, Dead Space, the movie, basically. Yeah.
Pretty much, isn't it? Yeah. yeah. I'm really excited about this. I like the characters quite a lot. Fede Alvarez might be returning as well as director.
Oh, that's cool.
Such a
I like
fantastic
him.
Yeah. So, I thought the character dynamic between Katie Spaney and David Johnson's characters were really interesting, like the android brother sister.
He was awesome, man. He was awesome.
So yeah, I'm stoked to see like what they do with the sequel to this.
Very happy to have more in the Aliens universe and Predator universes. Happy to see this. This will be good fun. Speaking of Predator,
we're getting 2 Predator movies next year. So Dan Trachtenberg,
That's amazing.
we knew about one of them. So Predator Badlands is the one with Ella Fanning. That's coming to cinemas next year. So that's sort of like Dan Trachtenberg did Prey. And that we assumed, Pete, that was going to be another like time period. Like I thought Western, you thought World War II, but set in the future apparently. But he's also filmed another Predator movie, and that's going to come presumably to streaming next year. So we're getting 2 Predator movies next year.
He's already done one.
Yeah, well that's the thing, and it's coming out before Badlands.
I'm interested to see it, but I still think they're missing a trick. I think we've talked about on this before. The idea of Prey was so cool. Just give us a series of films with the Predator attacking different time periods.
That might be what the other movie is, though.
Yeah, so we talked about versus samurais, we talked about pirate
That's
ships. It'd just be amazing.
Yeah.
And that's why I
That's
thought
it, the samurai.
Badlands sounded like World War II, or people thought Western era.
Oh, Western.
Both of them superb.
Yeah. Within
It
this
hasn't
as
got
well,
to be connecting. Do you know? It hasn't got to be interconnecting. Just give us standalone movies.
Yeah, this within this
damn.
also this is from the CEO of Fox Movies. He also said that the interviewer asked him, "Is there going to be another Alien vs Predator movie?" He said probably, but he said we're gonna it's not going to be hyped up the way that they want to organically do it. I think it'd be really cool to put out either an Alien or Predator movie, and it's a surprise that the Predator is in it. There was a game from 2005 called Concrete Jungle, Predator Concrete Jungle, and there's aliens come into it halfway through the game, and it's a surprise. It was awesome.
I didn't know. I've never played that. That's very cool.
Oh, it's good fun. Yeah, it's a cool.
There's a Batman fan film.
Dead End.
Yes. Oh
I
my
was just
gosh.
thinking about that. Yeah.
I remember watching that when I remember taking about 3 hours to download it on my old dial-up internet.
Just friggin'
Watching it on
amazing.
QuickTime video.
Yeah. Have you seen that one, James?
I don't think it's
Man.
Honestly, you've got to watch it. It's so well done, but it's got some great surprises at the end, which will not spoil for you. But I think it's Batman the Sun who did it. But it's just so sexy, down to when Batman jumps off a ledge and lands, the leather cape kind of drapes in the rain, and when he stands up, it's just stunning. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
That cape, he's literally standing on a wet rain and water everywhere, and as he stands up, the cape draws in with him and goes up. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is. It's phenomenal. Well worth checking out. out. I don't know how I feel about this one, chaps.
VHS is back,
VHS.
baby. I think this is cool. I think VHS as an aesthetic suits horror so much.
Yes.
That's the thing you're going to bring back to VHS. So I think it's cool. Alien Romulus and Late Night with the Devil are both getting VHS releases.
Late Night
It's
with
if
the
you're a
Devil.
collector, it's a cool thing,
Yeah, I think Late Night with the Devil would suit being watched on a grainy VHS, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
On one of those school sets that you kind of used to wheel in on a trolley. Do you know what I mean? And it had the video underneath the big TV. That would work.
Absolutely.
But in reality, who's got a VHS player these days? This isn't being bought to play, is it? This is a collector's item, really.
I know who
could
has
see
a
people-
VHS. I know someone who has one and has it plugged in. Tim, who used to produce the Love Horror Show.
Really?
Right, yeah.
He's got one ready to go, yeah.
I mean, our pal, I don't know if you know Luke, Luke from Hydra Collectibles, he's banging to his physical media, so I'm sure he has got a physical VHS. But yeah, I mean, I would say Alien Romulus, not so much, but Late Night with the Devil, I absolutely would pick that up, because I adore that film. Well worth going back and having a rewatch of that one, I think. So yeah, pretty cool. Don't know how I feel about this one. This is the perfect film for me.
So American Psycho is getting a new adaptation. Gonna be tough to top this performance, though. I think I've got to love I hope who's directing it now, but
It's Luca Guadagnino, or however we pronounce it, who did Call Me By My Name. He did the Suspiria remake, and he did...
okay.
Oh gosh, what was the vampire one? The cannibal one I really loved. Bones and All.
Yeah, with Timothy Chalamet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an article I saw about this, and it really tickled me. He said the best person to play Patrick Bateman, because he is Patrick Bateman in real life, is Armie Hammer, who was in this guy's other movies. So,
I don't know. About that.
time to uncancel Armie Hammer and let him play himself.
Yeah. This was announced that we were at the convention, and I kind of been thinking overnight about it. And there's nobody I can really pin as they'd be great for the. Funny enough, I think Robert Pattinson would be a good choice. But it's a tough one. I just don't see it matching.
I love this
do you know what I
original
mean?
movie. I love this original movie, and it's not a sequel, is it? It's a remake of.
It's not a remake. It's a
they
new
said don't
adaptation
call it a
of
remake, didn't
the
they?
book.
New
Yeah. Like if they'd be adapting the novel, I'd be fine with it.
Zac Efron's not a bad call, Fuzzy. Yeah,
No, he looks like Buzz Lightyear now.
he does. He's got a very, very square face now, hasn't he? But I reckon he would have been a good He-Man, Prince Adam. Fuzzy doesn't even have a
Oh,
DVD
yeah, absolutely.
player anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Get yourself a PlayStation, Fuzzy.
I'll go and see
Yeah.
this. I haven't got a physical DVD player. I've got my PlayStation. I stick things in there. Yeah, that sounds wrong. I've said that out loud. I stick things in my PlayStation.
Stick things in my TV. The way
When
you
no one
said it
else
as
is
you
in,
trailed
when
off
no one
at the
else is
end
in the
there.
house, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Nips a bit. Anyway, Fear the Spotlight. This looks like some kind of 80s Lara Croft shit. What's this?
I mean, if you think this looks like an 80s game, Pete, you're mixing up your decades there. So
It's
Fear the
easily
Spotlight-
done with me.
So this just came out. This is the first game from Blumhouse Games. So it's sort of like
okay.
a Resident Evil callback kind of game, like fixed camera angles. It's got very kind of like PS1, PS2 era graphics. It looks very cool. I just saw a quick couple of shots of gameplay, and I dig in the way that like the Terrifier game calls back to like 90s stuff. I think it's cool to call back to like this kind of era of games, you know, like it looks a bit smoother than those, but that kind of low resness to it. But it's interesting, like when Blumhouse announced games, I'd kind of assumed it would be based on Blumhouse properties, like they'd be like high budget things. Like I didn't think that we were going to go this kind of route with it, but it looks very cool.
Unless it's Blumhouse creating new franchises as games and then adapting them into movies.
Yeah, 100%. 100. Any game that sells decently, I think they're going to turn into a movie.
Did they do the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
They did, yeah.
Dog shit. Sorry.
Didn't love it.
Yeah.
Awful. Fuzzy's just saying the recent American Psycho comic was an interesting take. And you twist. I didn't read that one, Fuzzy. Any of you guys
I
read it?
didn't.
No, didn't even know.
No, I didn't know they did one.
Yeah, I'll have to check. Who was the which company was that one, Fuzzy? It wasn't Marvel or DC. Can't remember who did that one, but yeah, worth checking out. Oh, speaking of that cack,
We got first poster, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, December 5th, 2025. I hope it's better.
Yeah.
can it be worse?
It wasn't awful.
It was
was
awful,
just-
James. It was
was
awful.
bad.
You just got your chubby on because it had Lillard in it. That's all you got excited about.
He went full stew at the end, and it was glorious.
He was the best thing in it, yeah.
Yeah, 100% he is the best thing in it. I think it was incredibly obvious he was going to be the bad guy in it, though.
And when he did the Ghostface Night Queen,
James
Yeah,
missed
yeah.
that. James missed that, even though
I
James is
went
like
back and found that clip.
you know, James is
man.
the Scream fan. It was me that had to point that out.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. So, I believe he's back for this.
Because that's his thing, isn't it? I'll always come back.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for this. I'm hoping it's better. I love the aesthetic of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think they're spooky looking. I'd like this to lean more into like my problem with the first one is it's very sanitized. Like it's not very scary. It's a kiddie kind of horror movie. So I'd like this one to.
They know their audience, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just so weird that this is like a full-on horror series that kids love. Like it's just kind of crazy. You're going to Smiths and this.
Scrap
bloody
this.
Things everywhere.
Scrap this and give Willy's Wonderland
Shut up.
2. Come on.
Shut up.
Willy's Wonderland 2.
You know what's funny is talking about myself as usual. The year that we had Matthew Lillard at horror was 2021, and the guest that I spent the most time with that weekend was Grant Kramer, from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Grant Kramer is responsible for Willy's Wonderland.
Really?
He picks the story. He's the executive producer, and he's in it.
Very cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
Tell them not to watch our videos.
Have you
At the end,
seen Willy's
I'll be
Wonderland?
right
Ben?
back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's superb, isn't it, Ben? See ya.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I really
it's
like
good.
it.
Okay.
See?
It's our bar for if a movie is good or not in our retro reviews, and I'll be right back at the very end. Is it better than Willy's Wonderland? And then we usually just trail off into talking about Nick Cage naked.
Oh, Nick Cage.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't beat a bit of Nick. Arcade. Have you
Never.
watched Arcadian yet?
No, I still haven't seen it now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Decent little flick. Bit of Freddy. Bit of Mr.
The real
Have you met
Freddy.
him, Ben, have you met him?
No. So Neil's met him loads of times at various cons. Robert doesn't do anything that isn't Showmasters or Showmasters adjacent.
Ah, right. Okay.
So I know
So
his next
there
one
was-
there's some new one just outside London.
Horrified.
Yes, Horrified. Unfortunately, I actually literally the only thing
Yeah.
I have planned next year is that date, is the Saturday of that con, so I can't go. But
He is the Showmaster. Sorry, the other guy from Showmasters who left. It's him.
Ah, right. Okay.
Anyway, so the news here, Robert England, I think this is also at a convention, and a fan can ask him about, like, obviously every fan at every convention asks him, like, are you coming back, or would you do it again, or whatever. So he effectively said that he's too old to do it physically, but he would return to voice him in, like, an animated thing.
Oh,
I think
love
that'd be really. I think that'd be really cool. I'd love to see that. Now, my kind of thought was, because I think we talked on a couple of shows ago, Pete, about there's an Evil Dead animated series in the works at the moment, and we had kind of said it would be really cool to see, like, Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash kind of brought to life in that, or like they do kind of crossover things with the horror characters where Ash takes on horror characters in different episodes. Love to see him come back for that. I think that'd be really cool. But I could see Nightmare getting, like, trippy animated kind of.
You're surprising, James.
Like,
I felt sure you'd be leaning towards an 18+ episode of Scooby-Doo. Freddy versus Scooby-Doo.
fuck, man.
I'd watch that. I would watch that.
Kill for that, man. That'd be so good. Yeah. It's funny though that, like, because he does do, like, in makeup, like, convention photo ops and stuff. So
He does still do it, yeah.
Yeah. So why is he like so poo-pooing doing it in person, like in?
I don't think he's like the physicality for it anymore. He's like in his 60s, isn't he, or 70s?
70s, I think. Yeah.
70s, yeah. You need a younger Freddy. Like, they're also, get Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's like 5 years younger than him.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, like, I remember watching Freddy vs. Jason like when I binged through the whole series, like, a couple years ago, and you can tell he's older, and that was 20 years ago. So
oh man, yeah.
I think you're probably right. But I know it's like you kind of hold on to it of, like, if only. Like, I really wanted when, like, Halloween came out and then Scream came out, Nightmare on Elm Street, just fuck the sequels, just go back to that original and pick up from there. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's ever happened.
Street, when was the last time we had an Elm Street film? 2010.
2010, Jack Earl Haley one, yeah. Just crazy. Just crazy that they chuck out a Texas Chainsaw movie every 2 or 3 years, but we can't get a fucking Nightmare movie for.
No, Nightmare 2010, Jason 2009.
Yep.
Everyone else is back, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Michael, Chucky, Pinhead never really went away.
Yeah, Leatherface never really went away. Like.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, mind, with the success, and I know it's because it's all in the same universe, but with the success of interconnecting multiverses with Marvel and all that shit, we haven't had more horror franchise crossovers. Do you know what I mean? We've had Freddy versus Jason, but
there's Evil Dead stuff in there. There's what was the film? Jason Goes to Hell was the first crossover, and then there's the Evil Dead.
Is Deadite in that? Like
the Kandarian dagger, Sumerian dagger, whatever it is.
Yeah. It's funny because we're actually I've been taking notes for a video, Pete, that's going to talk about cancelled movies and the kind of crossover palooza when Freddy vs. Jason came out of, like, let's do Candyman versus Leprechaun and Chucky versus Pinhead and all this, like.
What was it? Was it like something versus Wishmaster they were going to do as well?
Anything with Wishmaster. Well, Wishmaster 1. It goes downhill rapidly after that, doesn't it?
Good old Peter Atkins, my guy.
Yeah, we had him on the show after you pointed him in our direction. He's
ace, man.
Absolute gentleman. Like, I could have talked to him for hours. Like, literally, he was just so interesting. Yeah,
lovely chap.
When we had Claire Higgins at Horror, I texted him a message and just said, like, listen, I'm interviewing Claire. Is there anything you think you could give me? And he didn't see the message for a couple of days. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then he sent me this big anecdote about meeting someone ridiculously famous backstage in the studio. And he went, oh man, he's just such a lovely, lovely fella.
Lovely bloke. The Conjuring, Last Rites.
The Conjuring Last Rites has started filming. This is the final Conjuring movie, I believe. It's the director of the last one. And I think he did Ben the Nun too, as well. Is that right?
Oh, okay. I didn't know. To be honest, the Conjuring universe is something I'm a little bit out of.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
more into Conjuring than Insidious. I like it. I like the shared universe kind of aspect, but they're hit and miss. I think.
I get very confused. Is this the ones I got confused with, James? Because is it
You're
the
always
same?
Confused.
Well, yeah, it is. Is it the same actor? What do you call him? Who was in Aquaman? Who's in the Conjuring and Insidious?
Yes.
So I remember watching one of these and being completely lost off. I think it was the Red Door one or something. Because
that's Insidious.
And I thought it was the Conjuring universe. So I was like trying to figure out what the friggin' hell was going on because the characters weren't married to the right people anymore and shit. I didn't realise. Yeah.
Oh, they're both James Wan franchises.
Yeah.
That's why. So and that's why he's an Aquaman as well. Yes, this has started filming. I know that like the first two Conjuring movies, the second Conjuring movie, I think is the most scared I've ever been in the cinema. That and Insidious. The third one, I think I haven't seen it yet, but people are sort of poo-pooing on it. It wasn't as good because James Wan didn't do it.
Yeah.
So this one, curious if this is going to be.
What was the Conjuring? The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah,
I saw
that
that
one. Yeah.
I saw that
It
one.
was.
What do you think?
It was. I watched. I think there was one.
It was all right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I do like the fact that they're all based on, well, very loosely based on kind of stories that are already out there. I like that element of it.
Ed and Lorraine Warren and their
Yeah.
decades of scamming the public.
Yeah. Oh, it's all real. I'm sure it's all real. Yeah.
I do think like The Nun as like a horror design is probably the most effective one in 20, 30 years.
They dropped the ball on that, but they dropped the ball on that last. I mean, we've talked about this, James. When she's just the nun, it was fantastic, and then
But they always have her not be the
like
nun.
Pennywise, isn't it? As soon as you get to the end of the film and she turns into some kind of weird friggin' CGI bollocks, it was like, oh come on. Yeah.
I like the first Nun. I like the Conjuring 2, but that first Nun, the Corin Hardy one, I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I'd say out of the two Nun movies, the second one I liked more, I think.
Oh, okay, I still haven't seen the second one.
Yeah. Second one was decent.
It's like I say, it's good, but then the last act, they kind of do away with her as a figure of a nun and go to like a CGI kind of thing. And it's like, oh, that lost me a fair bit. Still worth watching, mind.
Throughout all this entire franchise, I think they struggle with the last act. I don't think there's any that have like a really great, effective last act. I can't remember the first movies one, but.
The original Conjuring's good because they sort of switch back to like the Annabelle stuff as well after that. It's like a prologue. Or is it epilogue, sorry?
Yeah. I still haven't seen Annabelle 2, and a lot of people say that's like the best of all of them.
The Mike Flanagan one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very cool. Good stuff. Bit of toy news then, chaps. This is interesting. This is Mezco Toys. I predominantly collect 1/6 scale action figures, but I have to say these Mezco ones are starting to appeal more and more. This is their Terrifier, Art the Clown. Just the volume of different head sculpts you get, and then different weapons and tools. I love the fact that the hands have got sculpted into them, a syringe and a scalpel blade. That's a really good touch, so you haven't got to worry about trying to get them posed. I love the fact you get the light up pumpkin head kind of thing going on there. The little
sunglasses.
Just tremendous.
Is that the horn as well? Oh,
Yeah, you get the little horn.
love that.
I think this is a great figure. I think just the volume of stuff you get with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a cool one. This is definitely on my radar. I may be tempted to start collecting this scale. Ben, are you an action figure collector, or is that a step too far?
Yes. No. I used to collect the NECA Toonie Terrors. And I've got a fair few NECA, just like the deluxe figures. I've got like the Thing and a couple of others. I've got a WWE Roddy Piper They Live figure earlier this year.
Yeah.
And loads of Star Wars Black Series.
Yeah. This will probably.
I want to make the jump to 6 scale though. I want to make that jump to the 6 scale.
Pricey.
But it's
that's what's put me off.
It's interesting you say that, because the 6th scale horror figures tend to be a little bit lackluster. So there is an Art the Clown 6th scale figure.
Yeah,
But
Neil's
this comes with far more accessories, and you can do more with this, you know. I don't know.
What's the price point on the Mezco?
So this is about $115.
So £90 ish.
Yeah, which isn't bad. Isn't bad.
No,
In
it's
a
not.
1/6
For what
scale
you get.
figure. 1/6 scale figure, you're probably looking for the Art the Clown. I think it was about 180.
I remember Mad Pot Horror did it on a 50% off once, and I missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, worth picking up. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Speaking of 1/6 scale, just thought I'd add this, James. I know you're a big Star Wars fan. This is this a Death Trooper? I don't know what this is actually called.
The
Is it a Dark
zombie
Trooper?
Stormtroopers in it.
Yeah.
From Ahsoka. I think it is a Death Trooper, and then it's just resurrected or something like that. I can't remember what they call them in the show.
I think this looks pretty
It
cool.
just says Death Trooper on the thing, so they are Death Troopers.
I just kept saying zombie Stormtroopers with the Japanese style Kintsugi
Yeah.
rebuilt. Oh, that's beautiful.
I think this is pretty cool. I loved this. I mean, I wasn't a massive fan of that show, I have to say, but I did like this element of reanimated troopers and stuff. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, you'll find, Ben, that we've got one real consistent fan on this channel, which is Fuzzy Dunlop, and he always comes in. He cuts through with the fact, and he keeps us saying, so Fuzzy, tat, just tat. If it's really bad, mate. If it's really bad, sorry, he'll tell what it's mince. So
or
tat's not
off.
bad. Yeah, or he'll tell what to cock off. Yeah, tat's not bad. So yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
Fuzzy Dunlop when me and James did the Obi-Wan thing all those years ago.
Yeah.
I remember this comment. Then he was there when we needed something. He'd just pop off.
Yeah.
He's our little Wikipedia.
I love it.
He's superb. And hats off to him. He always shares all the stuff. He's put a great little Instagram post out
hilarious.
today.
Love that.
So yeah.
Let's chase each other.
So this is the Death Trooper. Pretty cool. Quite like this one. Bit of comic book news. James, you sent us this, but I'd actually already spotted it. This is a Kickstarter Trick or Treat Witching Hours graphic novel written by the guy behind Trick or Treat. So it's written by the main guy. It's got 4 little stories in it. Kickstarter, if you're not familiar with, it's a way of getting books and things off the ground. You basically you have a whole different level, 7 or 8 different levels of your backing, so you can get like a digital copy for a tenner or whatever, and then it goes right the way down to like £1,000, where you actually feature in the book and they'll draw you in the book and stuff like that. I've already backed this one. So
have you? I'm gonna back it as well. Yeah.
So I jumped straight on
Yeah,
this.
I didn't realise it was Kickstarter.
I went a little bit crazy, so I've backed it and got the hardback slipcase version that comes with the Krampus book, and it also comes with, there must have been a previous edition, Kickstarter edition, a Trick or Treat omnibus. So I've picked that up as well, and you get some book plates signed by people and things.
They did a Kickstarter. They did Trick or Treat Comics. I think it was, what studio was that? Warner Brothers Comics or something short-lived. I'm sure that was about 15 years ago.
Right.
I think it was a way to promote the film.
I wonder if it's part of that. I wonder if that's part of it collected. Also, with the level that I've gone for, you get some little enamel badges as well of Sam and things like that.
How much was your one?
My wife won't be watching this shit, will she? No. So 150 I went
For
in.
fuck's sake.
Oh,
I can't see you get the cool trick or treat shit and not get the trick or treat shit myself, man. Do you know? So I'm going the next
it
one.
was, do you know what? It was really hard because I've backed a couple of things on Kickstarter recently because I love Kickstarter.
I've still not got it.
Yeah. I was tempted, and it was a throw between either this or the Alex Ross Kingdom Come DVD. But the prices for that were just mental. And at the end of the day, it's just a frigging DVD that's going to end up on general release anyway, you know? So I decided to jump in on this one.
They're doing the Krampus one as well? So didn't see the Krampus one.
So the Krampus is part of this set. I think Krampus must have already been out. So like I say, the
Legendary Comics. I think it was Legendary Comics.
Very cool. So the book that is kind of starting the kickstart is the Trick or Treat Witching Hour, and then the Krampus book's an add-on that you can get, and then the omnibus and all the rest of it is different add-ons. Cool. Fuzzy's just saying, I am a big deal, you're right.
Now, I want to address this now, Fuzzy. Fuzzy, I was in work when I saw it, and I didn't get the chance to share, and I forgot about it when I got home, okay? I apologize sincerely.
Terrible.
I did have a very good laugh at it.
He goes to all the effort, and you just friggin' ignore him. I
literally saw it and had to put my phone down. I don't even think I got to send a heart back to it.
Hoot hoot.
Sorry, Pete. I love you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Von Hoot. Ben, have we introduced you to Von Hoot before? I do the spiel every time.
I feel like I might have, but I'll take it.
Von Hoot is a big horror fan, particularly a slasher kind of horror fan. The image of him there is exactly how he dresses. Face paint. Sorry, not face paint. It's his actual face, he tells me. Plumage, the full shebang. And he wears that when you go drinking with him in London Weatherspoons, which makes for an interesting... Cape and all.
Literally nearly got into a fight because a guy tried to take his mask off, and I nearly decked the guy, and I was like, I'm going to get arrested in another country now. This
Von
fan's
Hoot.
put them away, so.
Go and check out mine and James's review of The Strangers Chapter 1 because you're absolutely right. It was dog shit.
It's the first movie again, but worse.
But it was irritating because we literally just watched the original with Liv.
Or I'll be right back, and then we go
and
in and
I
it was like,
loved that movie. And then watched this.
Was it
and said,
Scott
"Why?"
Speedman?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Liv Tyler, yeah.
So yeah, that's an interesting one. James, what's this? You've slipped this in.
I did. I saw a bit of comic horror news, and I thought you'd find this interesting. So IDW is starting a new imprint, IDW Dark, and they joined forces with Paramount over it. So we're getting Smile, comic book adaptation, or I think probably a spin-off, like an original story. A Quiet Place, Event Horizon, and Sleepy Hollow. So Smile comic book.
That's an interesting one.
Smile comic, I think, is quite
Yes, it
interesting.
is. Smile could have so many different possibilities.
Yeah.
But Event Horizon is you're going to get that original ship, aren't you? You're going to get just the prequel story.
A Quiet Place is an interesting one because there's like so little dialogue.
Mm.
And
That
like,
would work though.
yeah, it's probably just mostly a visual thing. Or
What was the it was Hawkeye, the Bat Faction Hawkeye, where they did a silent comic from the perspective of the dog.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Lucky. Yeah.
It's good. Peter Dog, yeah.
Yeah. Fuzzy's saying this is where Beneath the Trees sequel is going. Beneath the Trees, if you haven't read that, guys. Ben, I know you're a comic book reader, Ben, and I'm a fan of horror. Beneath the Trees is well worth checking out. It's the only way I can describe it is if you're a fan of Dexter, the TV series.
Yeah.
It's Dexter crossed with Sylvanian families.
Unbelievable.
As in the Cuddly Bears.
As in the Cuddly Bears, yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely check that one out. Von Hoot saying he's intrigued. An Event Horizon comic would be wonderful.
I've never seen Event Horizon.
Have we got time for a side quest?
Yeah, it's a mindfuck. But yeah, side quest away, bud.
Obviously, Event Horizon is a fucking unbelievable film. It's Hellraiser meets The Shining in space. And famously...
That sounds interesting.
And the cast is Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, Sean Pertwee, Jason Isaacs, Jolie Richardson. Man, it's fucking... It didn't do too well, did it, really, at the time?
No, it bombed. But do you not think that's because people struggled to understand what the hell was going on?
Yeah. It was about 20 years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So famously, it was butchered by the studio. When the dailies were coming in, Paramount were like, what the fuck is this? Famously chopped up. And there's scenes, there's an extended cut that you will never see because the footage was lost in a salt mine. It was stored in a salt mine and all corroded and they never got to do it. And I've always wanted to see this extended cut. I bought the 4K box set with I got an Event Horizon pin badge from the ship that they wear. I've got crew patches of the ship, blueprint. Fucking spectacular. Yeah, I've got a DVD box set where the ship opens up. First horror con that I didn't work at that I went to was a concert. I paid for Pertwee to sign it. We had a good chat. And then I worked with them a few years later and we were off our tits drunk. And I was like, Sean, tell me the Event Horizon stuff. And man,
it's amazing.
Here's a little... The stuff I can't legally repeat.
Yeah, mate. Another little side note for you here then, and I'm waiting to see you recoil in disgust. Mr. Keegan, just speaking of Sean, Mr. Keegan has never seen Dog Soldiers.
No way.
Nope. It's
oh man,
it's been on our backlist for a while. We're waiting for like a free slot where there's nothing else coming out.
You will dig Dog Soldiers, man. It's
sure
Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead meets Zulu meets fucking American Werewolf in London.
Sounds
it's
like
class.
Right up my alley. So yeah, I'm sure
it's really good.
I love it. Yeah,
very cool.
I love those
before we move
boys.
on, Sleepy Hollow. So because it's in joint with Paramount, do you think that's a follow up to the movie?
Tim Burton?
Yeah, it's Paramount. Christopher Walken and Johnny Depp one, isn't
it? Christopher Walken in that movie.
It was way Yeah, I wonder.
There was a TV show as well, wasn't there? That was a bit.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
It's a cool story. Maybe I'd say it's probably just because this is attached to every other one as a movie franchise. I was just curious if that's.
I hope it's the Tim Burton one.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, it would be very random. thing to pick up for, but like
25-year-old movie that no one really gives a shit about.
Yes,
That's a bit Event Horizon.
yeah.
that scared the shit out of me as a
Yeah,
kid. I remember.
but Event Horizon's got like a cult kind of following now, hasn't it?
Yes,
I'm not
it
sure
has.
many people
Love the
rewatch
Sleepy Hollow movie from
The idea
2001.
that James is going to be able to do it, Event Horizon Dog Soldiers double bill for the first time as well.
I
Oh,
will.
Tremendous.
There you go.
I'm awaiting the DM of this shit.
Okay, couple of trailers, guys, that I know you've both watched. First one is for Wolfman. This one kind of took me by surprise in terms of how much I friggin' loved this trailer. This looks spot on to me. What did you guys think of it?
Yeah, so this is Lee Wanell, who did The Invisible Man. So this has been coming a long time. It was supposed to be Ryan Gosling initially. Yeah, I think this looks really cool. I like the angle of it, like where it's the family and it's the dad that's getting turned, and it's gonna be the family trying to survive. I think that's a really cool element of it. But just like I love like Lee Wanell's style. Like he loves twisting cameras. Like he loves like turning camera angles. I think that's
Oh
great.
man, Upgrade.
Upgrade is just
Yeah, I
phenomenal.
like Upgrade,
the action
yeah.
sequences in that are so good, and he incorporates that into Invisible Man. I'm sure he will in this as well. But I think Invisible Man is one of the scariest. That opening sequence, I just couldn't breathe like in the cinema. So I'm sure this is going to have a lot of scenes like probably the car suspending kind of bit in this is going to be like that as well. So yeah, I like we get a very brief glimpse of the design. It looks gross, which I think is quite a cool take as well. So yeah, I'm stoked for this.
Do you know what the first thing I thought when I saw this trailer? The Fly.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it looks that kind of skin falling off kind of look to it, doesn't it?
Body horror, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I think this is
all
gonna be
in with
good.
this.
Yeah.
I
This
just
looks very
said
cool.
he's a stunning director.
Yeah. Dr. Von Hoot is saying Invisible Man's top tier, so I'm well up for this. Just speaking of werewolves, guys, going back slightly to comic books, there's a pretty good Batman comic out this week by Rodney Barnes, who's a phenomenal horror writer. Batman Full Moon, which is basically a kind of an Elseworld type story of Batman versus werewolves, and it's pretty good. First issue's good. So yeah, this looks cool. Looking forward to that. Dog shit. I thought the trailer was full of crap as well.
Yeah.
It's at least it's different. Like it's not just the first fucking thing again. I know it's setting up like literally it's just the first 3 seconds the trailer starts now, but where you actually see any of the actual movie, I feel like, or any of the villains in it. So it's the lead character from the first one in a car looking at the people who like picked her up, and she's like, are these I think the movie's gonna explore paranoia and like are people she's coming up against, these could be the strangers, who knows.
PTSD.
Yeah, exactly. So just the first one, the last one was such a letdown. I'm just like,
So the first one was so poor for me. This trailer had to do something to get us back interested in the franchise. This did nothing for us. I was bored. I thought, yeah. So I've got
It was a shit trailer.
Yeah, I mean there might be more to come, but
I think basing the trailer on your opinion, on the idea that you're going to like the character from the first movie and nobody liked the first movie. Like, hey guys, look who's back.
if this was a character we loved and we were rooting for, having the trailer
I mean,
center around her would be.
you're
good,
absolutely
but-
right. Perhaps if the trailer had ended with her being butchered, do you know what I mean? And hey, the new film is not going to be about her because she's dead. I might have thought,
He filmed all three of them in one go, didn't he? He filmed them all at once.
Yeah,
they must
two
be
more of these
worrying
much.
about that now, surely, because they wouldn't have put the first one out thinking it was cack. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I thought they had a good product, and now they're thinking, shit, we've got
I would
two
not
more.
be
So winner,
shocked.
guys.
I'd not be shocked if the third one ends up going to streaming or something like that. I think. 'Cause I don't think the first one made any horror movies typically always make money because they're so cheap to make. But I think it was a disappointment box office wise. Yeah. So this one, if it is the same, who knows? Like they have to put them out is the thing.
Yeah.
Because
It's a bit meh. Not one I'm excited for. Well, sticking with werewolves, we've got, is it werewolves? I think I can't remember. What it is.
Yeah, this I was scrolling on Bleeding Disgusting, and I just saw a Frank Grillo werewolf movie, and that sounds interesting. This looks like The Purge, but with werewolves, which is quite cool, I think.
I got Resident Evil kind of vibes from it in terms of the special effects and stuff.
What was interesting to me
was werewolves versus soldiers, and I was like, oh, they're dog soldiers. And when I googled it, the main character's name is Marshall.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
I tell you what, it did slightly confuse us, and I'm sure it was just my thick brain, but it started off by kind of saying, oh, you know, X number of years ago, the super moon or whatever produced all these werewolves and now they're back. So I thought, oh, is this a sequel? Have I missed the first one? Has that film been out?
Werewolf.
Werewolf.
Yeah, but I don't think it has it? I think this is a standalone
this is
film.
it.
No, this is just the lore of the universe of it. So
What was the vampire movie that did that? Daybreakers?
Daybreakers, yeah.
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 Sam Neill and
Yeah. I like. I know. I like what I see here. I think this looks really, really fun and silly, and you know, should be.
This will, for me, it'll be the same moan I have with lots of. I moan a lot, Ben. You'll see this. It'll be the same moan I've got with a lot of films. I think the practical effects, that image there, looks spot on. But it looked to me in the trailer there's going to be quite a bit of CGI jumping around it. I thought,
and not great looking CGI either. Yeah,
it looked rough, and that'll pull us out of it.
It's also funny because Frank Grillo is like my favorite Purge movie is the second one, Anarchy, and he stars in that. He's the main character in that. So just seeing him in another Purge-esque movie, but fighting werewolves this time, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I love Frank Grillo so much. I'm just happy to see him star in things.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I did have a grown laugh mind at the kind of the bite me line. I thought, oh.
Yeah.
There's going to be a few of those, I think, a few stonker lines, I think. Yeah. But,
cheesy but fun, I would imagine this film's going to be. Now, guys, this took me by surprise. I friggin' loved this trailer. This looks pretty darn creepy. What did you guys think of this?
Yeah, it's Osgood Perkins who did Long Legs, which you were not mad about, Pete. No. I really loved. Ben, what was your, just before we go on to this, what was your thoughts on
really like Long Legs? Just thought it was fantastic. It made me want to see more from Perkins and obviously Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
But Nicolas Cage in a Bo Selector mask. Do you know what I mean? It just threw it for us a bit.
But just the movie takes it so seriously that you have to take it seriously. You know what I mean? So like, it could have been silly with another director. But like, I think that discomfort you have in that film, like I think that's just a staple of Osgood Perkins, because I can feel like this is gonna have that kind of vibe to it. Like some of the imagery in this of just people on fire and and all this stuff. It's just, I think this is just gonna be really unsettling. So I'm stoked for this. This is probably my most anticipated horror movie coming up now.
And he's writing it and directing it, and Long Legs was an original project. I feel like he's a voice that you've got to listen out for now, because that name is just synonymous with good shit.
This is based on a short story by Stephen King. I've not read the short story, so
no.
Yeah, I've heard of like the monkey, like
I've not heard of the monkey, but I'm presuming it's a bit like the monkey's paw kind of tale that you wish.
Yeah, it's a cursed kind of like
cursed monkey
kind of story.
Yeah. The Toy Story 3 spin-off.
Yeah. It looks cool. I recommend people check out the trailer if you've not seen the trailer for this one, guys. Okay, couple of rapid reviews for you. First of all, I've been at home the last day or two because I'm not too well, so I was just flicking through. Ben actually got me back into horror / sci-fi a little while ago, watching Sunshine and things like that. Oh. Yeah, I've seen this movie before, but it popped up on my Sky screen. This is Life. Have you guys seen this one?
I haven't.
Is it the Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. James, you need to check this one out. It's a basic story of basically they get some samples from Mars and they fuck about with the samples in the lab, and this cute little thing kind of grows, and then it gets a little bit bigger, and then before you know it, it's snapping people's fingers and things, and then it's escaped from the lab and it's floating around and stuff. Brilliant film. And all I kept thinking when I was watching it was, paint this little fucker black and just pretend this is the start of Venom. Do you know what I mean? With it crashing on Earth. Yeah, exactly. With it crashing on Earth, that's the symbiote, and it inhabits whoever. It's a really good movie. Some great cast in it as well. You got Ryan Reynolds. You got what you call him? Mysterio, Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, it's
Rebecca Ferguson's in it.
Yeah. Recommend you check that one out, James. Von Hoot is saying, Life is a good watch. Well worth checking out.
It was
I like the fact that it was really serious until it went schlock.
Yeah, and then it goes batshit crazy, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
It goes mental. But again, it's interesting. I mean, we'll talk about gore when we get to Terrifier. That's a level of horror that I've kind of become more accustomed to dealing with. There's a scene in this where the guy's got his hand through the kind of the experiment slot. He's got a rubber glove on, and the creature wraps its hand itself around his fingers, and it starts snapping fingers, and you see his hand kind of. That threw me to shit. Honestly, it was horrible. And that was more effective than seeing art chopping someone's finger off for me. You know, I don't know why. It's just weird.
Fingers breaking is harder to watch than fingers getting chopped off.
I think so. For me,
some
it was.
reason.
And the claustrophobia of him not being able to move when it's happening.
Yeah. And then when his hand comes out and it's all kind of... Yeah. Very cool. And then I've sat and watched this today. This is a film we talked about a little while ago, James. It was out at the cinema, but I think it got pretty poor reception. We both, I think, missed
it because it was out so short.
Yeah. This was on Amazon today, and I think it was hire it for 99 pence or something ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
So I downloaded this to watch. Ben, I know you've seen it, so I'll come to you in a second to see what you thought. It wasn't as horrific and terrifying as I thought it should be. I think you could have had more gore and more deaths. There's not a lot of death scenes in it, really. But actually, it was pretty good. It was worth a watch. It was creepy. It threw us at the start. I was expecting just your standard spider kind of flick. I wasn't expecting alien spiders. That was an interesting turn for us. Some of the characters were really, really strong. Some of them got right in my nerves. But in general, it's worth a watch. I think it was pretty good. What did you think of it, Ben?
I thought it was good. It reminded me of Alien, the original Alien.
Yeah.
I think it was. They played it well for what it was, and the claustrophobia of the apartment building, and it runs through the vents. It was right up my alley. I wouldn't want to spoil it for anyone because it's a good fun.
Yeah. One thing that I always think about watching films like this is, are vents in America really that friggin' big? Because I couldn't sleep in that house knowing that a grown man could walk into my bedroom at any point just by getting in a friggin' vent. Do you know what I mean? Because they're huge. Well, exactly. I mean, it's. I feel like flying over to America just to check out one of these buildings to see if I could fit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, well worth checking out. I would recommend people see this one. Okay, guys. Terrifier 3.
Terrifying.
I'll start off and then I'll come to each of you guys and you can let me know what you think. I'm new to the Terrifier franchise. I'd been avoiding it for a while because gore isn't my kind of horror. I'm much more of a Fright Night kind of guy or a ghost story. But then I watched Terrifier 1 and 2 a couple of weeks back. I think I messaged you, Ben, about it. And I really enjoyed them. Far more than I was expecting. I enjoyed the humour of it. I think Art the Clown is just a superb character. I love his performance. It's fair to say as the series goes on, it gets more and more batshit crazy. You get all kinds of weird supernatural mythology kind of stuff coming in. And Ben, I know you'll talk about the links to religion in a bit. Went to see number 3. It was more of the same. I don't know if I'm becoming a little bit immune to meat and visceral stuff now.
Yeah.
The kind of the storyline has got us interested. I did enjoy the film, but, and this is the bit that might surprise you in particular, James, ranking the 3 films, number 1 is still my far favourite. I really like number 1 much more than I like number 1 and number 2 and 3. I think it's because I kind of prefer the
mystery,
the more grounded side of stuff. I do have a couple of questions for you. The family at the start of Terrifier 3, where he's already in the clown costume, I don't understand where that fits into the story.
I don't think it does it?
It doesn't really. It's just like a Christmassy murder prologue.
I think the
well, what I was thinking,
skipping right to the end, that the woman.
Well, I was going to say what I was thinking, James, is, you know, you see a skull, and there's talk of who the skull is.
Yeah.
And I know Damien has said who it is, but I did wonder if that's going to have a callback in the next film to actually, on the way to that house, Art killed all the people in the house next door or whatever, and it's one of their skulls. That's what I kind of thought.
Yeah, it could be. So we're going spoilers for this anyway. So that's in the movie. We're told that there's a scene where the main character is tied up with the aunt, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's a skull on the thing, and she's told initially it's her little cousin.
Yeah.
And she's like crying, but it's not. It's actually her brother. Now, her brother was like a main character in the last movie, and he's a supporting character in this. And I just don't buy that they just killed him off screen, unless like the next movie opens with we see that murder, then and they confirm it that way.
Someone asked Damien, and apparently said, "Yeah, he's dead." But like you say, that might be he's dead, and we're going to see him die next.
Maybe
time. I don't believe
maybe he's in hell.
And
she goes to hell to save the little girl.
My other question, and I think it links to the second film, so maybe they just didn't see it or whatever, is they go to the effort of smashing her hands to a pulp. Do her hands heal as soon as she touches the sword? Okay, that's right. That makes sense.
Because then it makes the cuts disappear as well.
Okay, right. So yeah, overall cool. Some great kills. I think Santa Claus kill is my favourite. What about you guys? What do you think?
Yes, I think it's possibly my favourite for the franchise in terms of expanding the story, but I agree with you, the first one, it will always be the best, because it wasn't a supernatural series then, it was a slasher movie, until it wasn't. Damien is swinging for the fences, the religious stuff is gone from being mild mentions of it in Terrifier 2, the Catholic mythology, to flat out. I mean, look at that poster she's wearing, Jesus' crown of thorns.
Yeah.
It's like seriously heavy-handed. Not maybe heavy-handed is the wrong word, but he's throwing it in there. And I think Terrifier 4 is going to go full-on biblical.
Yeah. I don't know if you're going to lose more people with that, but because I think it's getting a bit too off the wall. Do you know what I mean?
Highest grossing horror film of all time for many years was The Exorcist. So
that's very true. That is very true.
People love the Nun. People love religious horror.
Yeah.
I love the fantasy elements of this. I really love the lore. I think like maybe you like the putting it into like Christian context. Maybe I'm not like a super big fan of like the biblicalness, but I love like in the second movie, my favorite thing was her in like the fucking Wonder Woman costume, basically. With the sword. No, I just thought that was so cool.
It's an angel costume drawn by her dad.
Yeah.
Michael.
So I can imagine in the next one she will like proper superpower, like flying wings and shit. Like, I think we'll see shit like that. I'm fucking all for it, man. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Me too.
So anyway, this one I really liked it. I think so. In the lead up to this, and we talked about this in the show, I don't know how many times, but there was all this talk of this horrific, shocking opening scene. Like, oh, we didn't know we could even film this. This is going to be the most vile. People are puking in their seats when you watch it and shit. And me and Peter had speculated that because in the teaser you see Art dressed as Santa and a little girl, that, oh, we're going to get like a Terrifier murder sequence, but with a kid. And it is a dead kid that you see. But it's just, you just see a body, like, and it's implied, you hear it, I suppose, so maybe it's, but I don't know, I think, like Peter, I'm just sort of desensitized to this after, especially watching, like, the whole series so recently, that I wasn't really shocked by how, like, they can't really get much more violent, you know what I mean? Like, there's sort of, like, a head degloving scene in this, with the guy from Scary Movie, who I love.
Yeah, John.
Bobby from Scary Movie. I guess that was really cool. So that was a cool kill. And then, like, obviously the most famous one, I think, is the shower sequence, where a guy gets, like, a chainsaw up the ass. But it's just, you're just seeing sort of flesh get cut. So I was sort of like, oh, this is like cool, but I wasn't like, oh my god, that's the most disgusting thing. The only bit I really gasped at was when Victoria's watching the murder and she's like pleasing herself with a shard of glass. And like I think the thing is you don't even see it. Like you just see the blood spilling on the ground. It's what you're not seeing is more horrific. So yeah, I think in terms of like the gore, there was nothing in this that I think is much more shocking than in the last movie or the one before that. But I really like the story. I think the Christmas setting is really fun.
Yeah.
Art dressed as Santa is fun.
It's a lovely holiday film.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's clever because it makes it, it's a yearly watch then if you're a horror fan, like to watch it. I really like some of the cameos. Like I think Jason Patrick as the dad, like the comic book artist, those kind of scenes are really sweet. one of my favorite like Irish being silly moments is when he's there with Santa and he's so excited. Oh my god, it's Santa! You know, I thought that was really great. Or when he's overhearing your one talking about like the Miles County clown, like he's amazing, he's so cool, and he's just like, oh stop it, like, you know, I thought that was really really fun. So I think there's some of the best stuff in the series in this. But for me, I feel like 2 is still my favorite, just because I like the kind of comic bookiness of the last sequence of that. I think.
Huge.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It's got some good kills. I did like the Santa Claus bit in the bar. I thought that was great, and I liked the tube in the mother's mouth. That was
with the rats and everything.
Rough.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal. That. Oh my gosh, American Psycho.
Yeah, that was rough. Fuzzy's got a good point. How long till this suffers from overexposure and people get bored? I see him everywhere, and I'm not even a real horror guy.
Just one more, isn't it? The next one.
They're saying one more, yeah.
Yeah.
Where
would you like
but
to
it
see
is
it go,
interesting. It is interesting to see what will happen next because, like I say, having watched all 3 in pretty short succession, I am feeling quite desensitized to meat, if that makes sense. So I don't know what they can do next to up the ante, you know?
Terrifier 1 was like 9 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So like he's only just starting to crank up the franchise now, and then finishing at 4. I don't think so. I think there'll be more.
I will. Well, they'll give it 10 years and then do just Terrifier, and it's the
man,
ignoring
those
2 and
movies.
3. You know, like,
Yeah, we're gonna go back.
Yeah, or Terrifier the animated series, something like they'll do something. He'll keep the franchise alive, I'm sure, but I just think it's a really fun character. So I'm
Definitely worth a watch. Worth a watch. Smile 2. Sorry.
Yeah, now we're doing. Peter's not seen this, so we're going to do non-spoilers. But I saw this last night. Peter, for some reason, you think I hate the first movie, and I don't hate it. I think the first one is very scary. It's very effective. I think it's like a scary creature, like idea. The concept is brilliant. I just don't really like the story. I don't remember not really liking where the story went. I haven't seen it since the cinema, but my memory of it was like it goes into some of the kind of lore. And then I hated the creature design at the end. So the whole last act kind of ruined the film for me. This one, I feel the opposite, where I think the story's fantastic. I think Naomi Scott leading this is phenomenal. Like one of the best leading performances I've seen in a while. But it's not scary. I feel like the kind of the oomph of the smile thing is not. It's not there anymore, and there's still some scary sequences, and I had a couple of jump scares I kind of went ooh at, but you don't have that sense of like dread or paranoia I think that original movie did.
Okay, interesting.
I thought it was a fantastic look at the perils of fame and the effect of your career and what you do to stay famous and stay relevant. I thought it was an excellent look at the entertainment industry, and I thought it had the best piece of stunt casting I've ever seen in any movie with Jack Nicholson's kid. Ray Nicholson.
Oh, really?
So you learn really early on that she had a boyfriend and he's not around anymore, and when you see him in flashback, it's Ray Nicholson.
Yeah.
Who they definitely just cast because he looks exactly like his fucking dad in The Shining.
Who's great as well. Like he has one kind of dialogue scene, and he was very good. So it's like, I want to see this guy in more stuff. You know?
They've literally hired him to put him on the poster and have him walk towards her doing the Nicholson face from The Shining. It's unreal.
Very cool.
I do think I was actually surprised coming out of this because I felt like it was a real upgrade in terms of like the cinematography and the direction of it. Like I was really impressed. Like there's the opening sequence is a one take, and it's
unreal.
stunning. Like just stunning. Like 6 or 7 minutes, stunning. And then mid movie, there's another long take, and it starts with her like sculling a liter of water. So I think is just showing off because it's like, we're doing this once. We can't have her do this 6 or 7 times, you know? So I felt like that was a show off like for people. But that was a really great sequence as well. And I was actually surprised to find out that it's the same guy who did the first movie. Parker Finn, I think is his name. So like this started as a short film and then he did Smile and now he's doing Smile too. So I'm the first one nailed the scariness and this one nailed the story. So I feel like a third one, you could get that kind of best of both.
Does it, without spoilers, does it leave it open for a third?
Where the next one could go is wild. So
Yeah.
like I'll just say that. Like
But if they make a third, I'll be happy, and if they don't, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm curious.
There's-
Like I could see people not liking a late on revelation in the film.
Yeah.
But like it was very fun. I really had a
Yeah.
blast watching it. Like I think it was, that there's a
There's
lot of
one
like,
particular scene I'm not going to spoil for Peter, but the choreography,
Yeah.
the dancers. Oh man,
Yeah.
like I really like. It was creepy, but I found myself like, fucking hell, this is cool.
Yeah, I was surprised how grotesque some of it was as well. There's and it's unfortunate. I think the trailers show a lot. Like there was a couple of moments where if that wasn't in the trailer, I'd have been blown away. But there's a bit you see in the trailer where he's kind of smashing his face with the thing. In the movie, that's horrific. Like because it's slow. Like he pulls it down and you see, and then he does it again. And you're just like whoa. So there's a lot of like that kind of stuff. Like it takes its time with those kind of moments. The gore of it, and it's not like Terrifier where it's just me. It feels a lot more real. So I just very effective. So I really came out of this loving it.
I might try and get to see it this weekend if I feel any
I will
better.
do a spoiler when you do because it's I want to talk about where it could go next. It's just mad. So like I'm
Fuzzy saying
fascinated
the
by
excuse me, the marketing for this was brilliant. Seeing people in crowds at baseball games,
that. Well, one of the best marketing campaigns of any film. The first film did the same thing. It's just very clever. I think
Okay, guys, we're getting near the end now, so just want to talk a little bit about For the
Just a
Love of
smidge.
Horror. Just a smidge. This was last weekend. How long has this been going for now, Ben?
2018 was the first one. It wasn't a huge success, and they sort of spent the whole year redeveloping the show. And I came in 2019, and then that's when we really went for it. Like,
So this is an annual convention. This is mine and James's third year, I think.
third year, 2022.
Third year going.
which is annoying because I think like it's annoying because as we watch stuff, I become fans of things, and then it's like, oh, that like the Fright Night cast was there the first year, and I didn't get any autographs. Art the Clown photo op, like in costume, didn't get that. So like it's funny that you regret then. There might be stuff from this one. I'm like, why didn't I meet that person?
Yeah. But we're going to talk just a little bit about the different bits and bobs. And this is the first time me and James have kind of gone all in terms of doing the Friday night, the con, and then the Saturday night as well. So we'll start a little bit with the Friday night. Obviously, Ben, your involvement is
Rubbing shoulders with celebrities there, like
yeah.
So we had two films. So Ben, just tell a little bit about the two shows we had.
Yes, so the Friday night screening, we did House of a Thousand Corpses with the very lovely Bill Moseley, and we did the original Terrifier with Jenna and Catherine. And
these
it was
guys
cool.
were
And
amazing.
we do live commentary during the film, which is it's okay. It's good fun. Lost Boys was a bit quiet last year. Bill didn't talk too much during House of a Thousand.
But
and then
I think
these motherfuckers.
he's made up for it.
Yeah,
though, didn't
yeah,
they?
yeah,
They
they
just
did.
talked the whole thing, and it's also fascinating as well. Like brilliant. I thought.
And it was really interesting for me because I've not seen House of a Thousand Corpses. And
okay.
the fan reception to it, I noticed the next day the queues for those guys was phenomenal. Interesting film. Not what I kind of expected. It went very strange at the end where it kind of went.
I hated where it
was
went at
going.
the end, to be honest. I'd never seen it either. And I feel like it was actually the wrong setting to watch a movie for the first time, I feel, as well.
Yeah.
So maybe we should have, I think next year, if it's a movie we've not seen, we'll watch it first so that we know. Because like,
Have you seen
Terrifier
the-
had a blast. Like,
Have you seen The Devil's Rejects?
I've seen a chunk of it, because I remember it was on TV
So
once.
The Devil's Reject is the three main killers from House of a Thousand Corpses, and they're on the run from the police, and it's like a road trip across America.
Right.
But all that supernatural shit from the end of House of a Thousand is gone. It's in the bin, and it never gets mentioned again.
That's where I got lost off because I think I went to the bar and when I came back,
There was like
it had gone kind of people with
weird
mechanical
pig
arms
man
and
and
things. And I was like,
flames
well,
and
hang on, what
tattoos
happened?
and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, what's going on here?
But in terms of the night, I just love the idea of having someone from one of the movies sat there just chatting away and
Live
and-
audio commentary.
yeah,
like,
I think
it's
that's
great.
amazing. And then the Terrifier girls were just phenomenal. And I have to say, Ben, you know, kissing your backside a bit. You are a superb host because you kept it
Thank you.
flowing, and it was really, really, it was entertaining, wasn't it, James? It was a good,
so
fun,
much fun. Yeah,
fun night,
absolutely.
you know. You must have fun on those nights as well, Ben. Do you get much say in what the film is? Do you pick the film?
It's whatever the guests we get will, Neil and the team will look at what films to do, when to do it, and who wants to do it, really. Jenna and Catherine doing Terrifier is absolute no-brainer. And then we actually wanted Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 instead of House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
And they put it to an audience vote. And House of a Thousand Corpses won, and I was so pissed off.
Yeah. I think we voted for it because we'd never seen it. So we were just
I voted
we
House of a
actually
Thousand
did,
because I'd never seen it. And I thought, that'd be fun. You know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to talk about Chipton.
Yeah. Do you have a dream one to do? Like one you'd love, like that movie with that actor?
Jason Patrick was up there, to be honest. Any of the Evil Deads with Bruce. The thing with Kurt Russell and or John Carpenter would be a dream.
Oh my god, John Carpenter! Oh my god, I just imagine the queue, man.
Oh man, I went to see him live. And he was fucking magnificent.
I'm holding out that at some point I'll get him on my Halloween poster.
Honestly, I see the offers go out every year from Jason and the guys, and then I guess I see the nose, and they tell me the nose come back every year.
Yeah. Well, speaking of some of the guests, you know, the Saturday For the Love of Horror was filled with some superb panels. There was a whole host of merchandise you could go and look around and pick up, and those masks were just friggin' amazing, just some stunning stuff. Tons of cosplayers, just great fun. One of the things that I particularly like about this con, and you know, it's because I'm an older gentleman, I guess, is once I've done the wandering around of the stalls and had a good look at that, which I do 4 or 5 times, to be honest, you just kind of end up wandering around.
You can just sit on your arse.
But then I can just sit on my arse. I literally can just plant myself because you've got it set up, unlike other cons I go to where I haven't got to stand up and fanny on looking for different rooms and stuff like that. It's just a central stage. So if you want, you can sit there all day long and just watch the rotation of people, and I love that.
Some people do. Some people do.
On Saturday,
familiar faces.
I went and got a couple of autographs, and we sat there because I think we had Halloween, and we sat right until the Carpenter Classics one. We watched all of them in between. And it's nice that they're on they're 30, 35 minutes. So I think they're like breezy, and you take a break for a minute. But I think it's also really clever to put that stage right in the middle of the autograph area, so that at least the people that are queuing for an hour or two.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well. Yeah.
If you're stood there waiting for Shawnee Smith, you can watch all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So it's good.
So out of all of the people that you had the pleasure of meeting on stage, Ben, which was your favourite panel this weekend?
Gosh, I'm gonna say, it's not my actual favourite, but I'm gonna say Tom Atkins again because he's Tom Atkins. Yeah. And like there was a portion of that where they were all talking about something else, and Tom was turning and just chatting shit to me, like just. He's a magical man. My actual favourite panel was probably Lynn Shay.
Yeah.
That was special. It's a special moment.
And the crowd certainly loved her, didn't they? I mean, she was stood for ages at the end.
I was surprised because I would say she probably had either her or Shawnee Smith had the biggest queue. Yeah. I was like, because I know I don't really think about like Insidious as having like a huge like collector's fan base, if you know what I mean. Like I know Carpenter stuff does, and your Evil Deads and stuff. So I was surprised actually like how, like I know she's a legend, like, but I was surprised like how big, intense like her kind of.
Oh, it was massive. It never let up all weekend.
That standing ovation was, I did never see that coming.
Yeah,
never saw that coming. I really got emotionally overwhelmed, and then they just kept standing up, and then no one went down, and we were looking at each other like, what the fuck is this?
She must have been buzzing when she came off the stage, Ben. She must have been to take.
She did. So, you know, she was wearing the mask, and she was elbow bumping, and there was no contact and whatnot. Before it, we were about to go on, and we satellised the mic to it. Look, we'll look after you. We really respect you. We don't want to fucking mess around here. We just want to keep you happy and make you have a good time. So she takes the mask off, she picks up the microphone, no one else is touching it, she just goes, you got any good questions? I went, no. I don't do questions. I said, look, I've got some bullet points, I know your career, I'm a fan. Me and you, we're going to walk up there, and we're going to have a nice chat, and we're going to have a good time, and that's all that matters. And if there's anything I say that you don't want to talk about, we won't talk about it. And she said, or I'll tell you to fuck off, and it'll be really funny. And I was like, oh, you are kidding. Yeah. We ran on, we did the Q&A, walked her off stage. An agent was made up with me. She was like, thank you so much. She leaves. The agent comes back and goes, can you come here, please? I was like, oh yeah. I thought I'd done something. And he just goes, just come here. And I walked back, and she was heading back towards me. Just grabs me with this massive hug, kisses me on the cheek, and goes, I love you. That was amazing. And then told my boss, passed on to everyone. Apparently, she's in the private signing room, doing the when people do the send-ins.
Yeah.
So she was doing the autographs, apparently just talking about me for ages. I was like, holy shit. It's just
special. Very special.
Yeah. Did you get something? Were you able to get a signature offer for anything?
No, I never asked. I never get any autographs. People are always surprised. I'm just... We do them panels in 30 minutes. Yeah. I have 15-minute turnaround.
It's funny, but isn't it, Ben? Because I remember James was asking, I think we were talking about it on the Sunday in the drive back or something, saying, I wonder if Ben manages to get any signatures and all that kind of stuff. But I guess you've got frigging video footage of you standing next to her and photos and stuff, so you don't really need a signature, do you? You've got that.
It's just the collector in me, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just like, when was my last autograph was 2019.
Right, okay.
I got Fred Decker signed a couple of pieces for me. Oh no, I'm telling lies. Johnny Bernthal did. John Bernthal offered to come and do stuff for us. We didn't ask. John Bernthal said to one of the guys, "Tell the boys, come and find me, get all your bits done." I was like, "No, John, that's not how it works." He's like, "John, that's not how it works." And he was like, "Fuck it in."
Yeah. Very nice.
And every now and then, and I'm not going to name names. Sometimes I get a letter or a card of people. I got one 2021 and I got one this year, and I've had one like signed bits where some people will come over and go, look, I want to give you this, and it'll be like a little thank you note.
We'll get some names after the show.
Well, speaking of things being signed, Mr. Keegan, you were a bit of an autograph whore.
I was not quite as much as last year. Last year I was ridiculous. I had to get a diamond pass because we only did one day and it was absurd. Like I got like 10 plus. So yeah, got the Halloween cast on this. Very happy to see them. So I'm hoping to fill this with as many people as I can. But yeah, I got Peach of Souls was just lovely to talk to. I thought that was really nice. I know it's like her iconic line, but I was sort of like, is it weird that I asked to James, see anything you like? But she was like, so that was really cool. Will Sandon was very nice to talk to as well. I actually asked him a question you asked him on stage before the panel, but I said like, what was it like going back to school, like with Halloween out and stuff like that? So I was asking about that. That was really cool. And then John Michael Graham was really.
He's a lovely guy.
I'll be right back on it. So that was great. So yeah, just really really cool. I'm hoping we get a few more. And then I mean, just for me, dream lineup nearly with this. Like Tom Atkins was someone I wanted to meet for ages. Adrian Barbeau, like I was just in love with when I watched The Fog. I talked to her about Scooby-Doo because I said I just learned that you were in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. She goes, yeah, I was Simone, and then she did the voice. I was like, oh fuck. So she goes, not a lot of people know I'm in that, and I was like, yeah, no, that was what got me onto horror movies. So yeah, I got a couple of quotes, Stevie Wayne and stuff. She's absolutely just stunning woman. So yeah, Tom Atkins signed my Fog and thing, and
I was with all of them on Sunday morning, but I helped her to her car, take her to the thing, and it was raining, and she had a little hat on, and she was like holding a cup of tea, and it was just a mad little moment.
Yeah. That was great. She was lovely, and like Tom Atkins was lovely. Tom Lee Wallace was very nice. And I actually asked him about would you do a follow-up if you were asked to, because like, you know, Halloween's getting like a multimedia franchise now. I don't fucking do sequels anymore. I was like, okay, fair enough. And then he said I said, like, I've seen it like Fright Night 2, and he was like, oh yeah, it's getting a 4K Blu-ray release and stuff. He was telling me all this stuff. I was like, very cool.
That's cool. Yeah,
so I was really nice. I had the idea after Tom Atkins did the orange to get green for one and white for the other, so it's like the colors looks very cool stuff. So I'm just like, very cool. Just came away so happy with what I got over the weekend.
And then we had the Saturday night madness party, which was just friggin' brilliant. A bit of Tim, bit of sexy sax going on there, and then we had the karaoke at the end. I didn't really understand the video thing that was going on. I missed that. We were stood at the bar.
Cadaverous Black as
well. Oh yeah, so he was doing his performance, wasn't he?
Yeah, But I have to say, my first time at the party, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a great night. We had good fun with that. Plenty to drink. And what out? You even got us dancing at the end, Mr. Keegan, didn't you?
I did. Yeah,
What?
absolutely. Yeah, I remember I went, the first Fiddle of a Horror a couple of years ago, I went, and I was in Manchester for the night before my flight the next day, and everyone else had to go home. So I went to the thing myself, and it was just amazing. Like, I had an absolute blast. Like, about Tim. Like,
What year was that? 2022.
2022, yeah. So, like, Tim was on for an hour and did, like, do the windmill, clap, thrust, and the windmill, hand comb. It was just so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, yeah, let's go. And yeah, it was good crack. Like,
Yeah.
Did you have a good night that night, Ben?
Yeah, I think so.
you sounded a bit hoarse the next morning. Now the first word out here in the panel.
Little bit rough the next day.
I was in there from 9:15 until just after midnight.
Yeah, it's a long shift for you. That entire weekend. And then we had on the Sunday, we had, as you've just mentioned, the phenomenal panel with Lynn there. And we had the guys from Terrifier 3, which was nice because they were, dare I say it, relatively unknown at this point until Terrifier 3. So first con experience. Yeah.
Ever, first ever.
Yeah. And they were lovely.
You must be honoured.
Really
First
cool.
Q&A.
I know.
So
And then
lots of
obviously
great stuff. Sorry, mate.
So obviously they're going to be just after the race without them too.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay, so overall thoughts on the con. Again, I'll come to each of you. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of the highlights of our year now. This and Thought Bubble is kind of our every year go-to events. Great stall. I think great organisation. I know you sometimes get some negativity from people about the venue and the toilets and stuff like that. I think the venue's perfect.
Love the venue.
I really.
It's my favourite convention venue.
Yeah,
Like,
easy to get to. Central stage, good
There's a
spacing
bar.
for all the areas. There's
It's
a
just
bar.
nice.
Yeah, I love the place. Impeccable organisation, like I say, phenomenal guests and great hosting from yourself, obviously. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Highlight for the show for me, completely forgot about the Tucker and Dale panel. That was a really good fun.
Yeah, that was good.
I just loved it all. What about you, James? Any highlights that jump out?
Just a fantastic weekend, man. Like this, it's so expensive for me because there's always so many people. Like I had to do some heartbreak. I just couldn't splash out more for the Evil Dead cast, and that was kind of heartbreaking. But like I just think I love every year. I look forward to this. Like I'm already looking forward to the next one. But like the dream lineup for me, like Tom Atkins is so nice to meet, Tommy Lee Wallace, Adrian McBrow. Yeah, I think like it's one of the most well organized conventions. Like the queuing system was like I showed up to Tommy Lee Wallace with a massive queue in 40 minutes or something like that. It was all I was expecting to wait there hours. Other cons that have been waiting there hours. So like I think it's incredibly well run. The panels were all great, very well hosted. So I mean like a blast as always. So like I a lot of the time you do a con for a day and you're like, oh, I wouldn't have needed another day at this, but I think 2 days really is worth doing for this one, like to get everything in and like the extras and all as well.
I think for me, as a person that doesn't necessarily go to collect signatures and things and posters like you do, James, the beauty of this con, what makes it so unique to all the other cons we go to, is literally the panel sessions. And like I said before, the fact that I can just sit and it might not be a film I'm familiar with or I know anything about, but still it's entertaining. Do you know what I mean?
It's always interesting.
Yeah, so you can do the 2 days quite easily just by, getting there and just chilling for a bit.
Yeah.
Fuzzy's just saying fudge. I don't think I saw any
There was
fudge.
no fudge. There was a cookie stall.
I didn't see the fudge this year.
Yeah, I went to get a cookie and they were sold out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So
Ben, highlight for you then.
Overall, I think it takes me a while to process it because it's such a rapid fire weekend. The after party was a big highlight on the Saturday. I thought that was excellent. I thought it was nice to let my hair down, what's left of it, and have a laugh. Finishing the weekend strong with Lynn Shay, Bill Mosley, and then the solo panel was just. I think probably that little triple panel at the end there.
Yeah. I mean, James, next time we probably need to stay till Monday morning, don't we?
That's
the logical
Sunday
next
one
step.
again, just like the
Yes, you do,
entire
guys.
weekend. Yeah, I'm happy to do that, man. I can fly home from Manchester. Who would you like to see? yourself, Ben, like who's like within reason, like actually doable? We missed some people from cons before, so I'd love Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard, or like a Scooby Doo reunion or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. What would you like to? Who are you hoping for?
Barring repeat guest, I think the one that I want to interview the most is Kyle Gallner from Smile, Jennifer's Body, Scream 5.
Yeah.
He's an excellent actor.
Nightmare on Elm Street remake, yeah.
Yes, he is, yeah. I think he's an amazing actor. He's very cool, and I think he's got a lot to talk about. He's done a film a couple of years ago called Dinner in America. That's just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's an interesting cast. So he's my top of my wish list.
Nice, okay.
Bruce Campbell for me. I'm still desperate to meet the Chin. I'd love to meet him.
Yeah. I am.
Someday.
He is who he is.
Is he as mad as he appears? Is he as fun and as wild? Yeah.
Yeah.
He must be a fun interview. I'd live it.
So I don't think he gets interviewed. I think he just does his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was it like I don't know if you ever done a Michael Rooker panel where he just goes around the audience with his microphone, like any questions, like he does quick fire with people, like it's very fun. But I'd really love to see like a Wishmaster Andrew Divoff or something like that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
If we got Divoff, I would really push hard to ask the boss to get Peter Dackins over.
Yeah, do a Wishmaster kind of reunion. That would be amazing.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. And he's in Hellraiser 3. Yeah, man, 40th anniversary next year.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's an excuse, isn't there? So.
Barbara and Jeffrey, yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, Shaun of the Helm of Shaun of Wishmaster on the Friday night with them on stage. That'll be amazing. Yeah.
Be unreal, or reanimated with them too.
Yeah. And speaking of next year, tickets are out now.
They sure
I can't
are.
afford them yet, but they're not sold out yet. But there's
No.
3,000 tickets in.
So there's always a huge surge right away, and then it just goes through steady through the year.
So I have to give it a couple of months. I think I might ask for them for Christmas off somebody, but yeah, it's annoying because it's like I know the Diamond Pass is sold out pretty like. A few months out from the con, not knowing who the guests are, it's like, well, do I do it or do it? So this year I managed, but like I
think that's the thing, isn't it? You take a gamble on guests anyway, because you could we've announced loads of guests that just pull out. Yeah. So I think the one thing that we do that other cons maybe don't do as well is we make our guests, the guys get, the boss get, is always a wide range, and it's people that cover multiple fandoms, and it's always people with multiple genres of film.
Yeah,
you got something about Mary question in there with the
I have to do that.
Princess Diaries.
There we go.
It wasn't like working with Julie Andrews.
And the year we had Lillard was more Scooby Doo fans than Scream fans.
Oh my god! My dream like autograph piece is I've seen this like print of like Scooby Doo. Where are you? It's like there's like glow in the dark bits and all the villains in the back and they're running. I'd love like one actor from each character like to represent them. So I got like Lillard and Frank Welker.
I've worked in Welker. He's unbelievable.
I've heard, So I'd love it, and like in the colors of the characters, like orange for Velma and shit like that. Just like, that's my dream piece. So like,
I love Scooby-Doo
on that. Yeah. So.
Okay, Ben. Listen, thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. We've kept you a long time. It's an absolute pleasure. We're not just blowing smoke up your arse. We genuinely do love for the love of horror, and you're a big part of that. You're a big reason for that.
I appreciate
thank you. And we'll love to have you back at some point to come on and chat horror with you.
Anytime.
Good stuff.
Sounds good.
Fuzzy's just saying, love your work, boys. It's always my favourite show, even as a non-horror guy. Thanks for the effort. Fuzzy, we really do appreciate you, bud. We really do. James, what have we got coming up on One Good Scare Show?
Well, we had our Terrifier, I'll be right back, last week, so check that out. It's uncensored. So if you can't handle gore, don't watch it. Please do, because it's I put a lot of work into it. It's a fun one, so check that out. We're gonna do Smile is the next I'll be right back, so we'll have that up next Friday, and then Halloween is coming up, so we might try to throw out a special for that or something. So
good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, thank you very much to everybody that's watched. Again, massive thank you to you, Ben. James, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Well, guys, it's almost Halloween. It's very close, so I think everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Everyone's entitled.